All right, everybody. It is Friday at the end of the day, and we are going to look at JWB's Turnkey Property of the Week. And I'm going to be following along in the group, just like all of you are right now, just to see if there are questions or comments that you would like me to answer as we do here on the property breakdowns. And for anybody who was not on our Thursday call, if you want an advance notice on this, if you want me to recommend this property live on our show and you want to be in attendance, you got to join on Thursdays. This is exactly the conversation that we had on Thursdays, and these properties are currently available. So if you're interested and you would like to see why I love this property for you, you'll want to join our calls Thursdays at 12:30. We break down a property recommendation that I make every show, and you can register at jwbshow.com. But today we are going to break the property down for all of you. If you are a current client, this is wonderful for you. You get to see a property that I'm recommending for you, and you get to get a little bit more insight into it, and you may add it to your portfolio. If you are not a current client yet and you want to understand how this works and you want to have a trial run, this is great for you. It's a great learning opportunity. And that's my focus here, is that everybody who's tuning in, I appreciate you and your time, and I think you're going to get a lot out of this. So with that, we're going to do a little screen share and jump right into it. And I do have some pretty cool news to share with you all as we jump into the mix here, if this will comply. So give me 1 second here. Screen share. There we go. All right. So I wanted to share some pretty cool news with you all. I just posted this in the group, but JWB made the news here again. JWB just bought our 4th building downtown in downtown Jacksonville. It's at 218 West Church Street, and they just released another article here on the Daily Record. And very cool. The company group now owns 3 buildings on the block across from the City Hall, in addition to another one 1 street over. So our vision of downtown is not just for everybody else to do this, right? We see a lot of developers coming downtown. We are a part of the action as well. This is fantastic news for JWB, fantastic news for downtown Jacksonville, and most importantly, it's fantastic news for our clients, because the more that development happens downtown, the neighborhoods where I'm going to tell you to invest for positive cash flow are in those neighborhoods that are surrounding downtown. And when downtown continues to grow and those good things happen, the positive effects on the neighborhoods that surround downtown will be there for all of you as well as for me. I own the properties in the same neighborhoods that I advise you to buy in, and that's the one we're going to take a look at here on Dandy Avenue. So without further ado, we're going to segue over to Dandy Avenue, and we're going to talk about why I love this property so much for you. All right, for all of you who have been tuning in on a weekly basis, either on our shows or on Friday here on the Walk and Talk and the Breakdown, you've seen this neighborhood a lot. All right, let me show you what this neighborhood looks like on Dandy Avenue. Here, I'm looking at a map of Jacksonville, okay? This is Jacksonville. This is the Atlantic Ocean. This is the St. Johns River. And all of these little blue markers here are all the properties that JWB has either renovated or built and sold to clients as new construction or renovated turnkey properties that we do the management for. We manage over 3,600 homes here in Jacksonville. This area right here, this green dot right here is Dandy Avenue. That's where I'm suggesting that you invest specifically on this property. And the reason why I love this neighborhood so much is well, it's not the reason, you just see how much I love it, right? These are all properties that JWB has built or renovated that we currently manage. This is probably the most populated area within, call it a mile, as far as our activity. In fact, the birthplace of the build to rent phenomenon, where big companies now, big hedge funds, even builders now are building to rent out as a positive asset, positive income stream, and a positive cash flow asset, all started right here on this neighborhood on Dandy Avenue, right? It started right here. This is where we started. And so the number one reason why I love this property on Dandy Avenue for you is because of consistency. The reason you're coming to rental properties and leaving places like the stock market, which are more traditional, is because for many of you, it's about getting a more consistent asset class. We saw the inconsistency of the stock market when coronavirus hit. The market tanked almost overnight. and now has gone back up and then continues to go up and down and up, and it's variable. And we know overall the stock market's not a bad place to invest, but you are going to ride the wave. There's going to be ups and downs because it's an emotional marketplace. For many of you, you don't want to deal with that variability. You would much rather come to a consistent asset like rental properties, which has performed so much more consistently during the coronavirus pandemic. And the way to win in rental property investing is to do the same thing over and over again in neighborhoods that have been specifically designed for positive cash flow and long-term growth. And you have to have a lot of experience or work with somebody who has a lot of experience. So when we're talking about a lot of experience, that's what we see here on Dandy Avenue, right? Literally, like on this street, JWB has built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 15, 20 homes, like right here. So how do we know the rent rate that we're going to find? It's easy, right? We know the rent rates that we're going to have for this home because we have done it over and over and over and over again for 15 years. So that consistency is what you need to demand for your rental property turnkey partner. They need to be fully ingrained in the neighborhood, not taking a stab in the dark. And of course, that's one of the reasons that I love Dandy Avenue for you here. Let's take a look at some of the other reasons though. All right. I love this property because of the returns and the cash flows. That's always going to be my first go-to when I'm looking at numbers, right? Notice I'm looking at return on investment. I'm looking at positive cash flow here. I look at price secondary to that because price is relative to return on investment and cash flow, right? They're all related. That's what we're looking for. So if I can find a property that performs about 11% return on investment, that's about the highest that we see right now. For many years, we had investments between 7 to 9%. Now we're able to produce investments between 9 to 11% estimated returns on investment. And the biggest change there is because of low interest rates. The estimated interest rate that we're able to secure for loans for our clients is at 4% right now, which is incredibly low. And that skyrockets your returns. So we're up to almost 11% here, almost $300 a month in cash flow. $300 is extremely difficult to find for cash flow properties if you want them done for you, if you want it to be completely passive. And so anytime we can get that $300 threshold, that is something that I want to bring to you, and I want you to pay attention to it. It's brand new construction, as you can see here. We love brand new construction. We love renovations as well. They both have to work for the numbers, and they both can hit that 9 to 11% returns. What you're going to find for new construction is you're going to find slightly lower maintenance costs and vacancy costs, which we love. You're going to find slightly lower homeowners insurance costs as well. So take a look at that. Your homeowner's insurance cost on this property, $381 a year for the premium. Really low, right? If we had a renovated home, you're going to have higher insurance costs because the home was built prior, right? It was not just built this year. And insurance companies deem that as more risky. So they charge higher premiums. For a $203,000 renovation, your insurance cost might be $800, right? Now, is that necessarily a bad thing? Well, if the return on investment works with an $800 insurance cost, that's cool. That's great. If I can produce an 11% return with an $800 insurance cost, that's great. So I'm not saying that renovated properties are bad. I'm just saying you got to make the numbers work to get to 11%. And the way that we do it here on Dandy Avenue is that one of the ways is that low homeowners insurance cost. So purchase price of $203,000, 4 beds, 2.5 baths. That is one of the standard models that we have here. So again, consistency means we do the same thing over and over and over again. 1-car garage, average monthly rent of $1,450 is what you will have from your resident on this one. Property taxes are estimated at $3,000 a year. No HOAs. So something else that I love about this property is that normally when you have a high rent rate, right, $1,450 is near the higher end of a cash flow neighborhood in Jacksonville, right? For JWB neighborhoods, we feel really confident getting up to $1,400, $1,500, maybe even a little bit higher for positive cash flow. You start to go too much higher than that, and you typically have to pay too much for the property in order to get the purchase price is too high for the property in order to get positive cash flow. But anytime you get closer to $1,400, $1,500, you typically have an HOA. you have an HOA cost, a homeowners association cost. So to be able to get into this neighborhood at a high rent like $14.50, which contributes to your 11% return on investment, and you don't have HOA dues, that's a great thing. We love that, right? Again, are HOA dues always bad? No, not necessarily. But if you have an HOA dues, you have to get somewhere better. You have to get income, right? You might have to get a higher rent rate in order to justify it and still produce a 9 to 11% return. All right, so we love that. We love all those things about this home on Dandy. I wanted to show you one more thing before we wrap up our call here. And you know what? I don't have that. Let me see here. Let me stop the share here. Let me bring this thing up. I wanted to show you just a video or a 3D tour of the home. And let me do that. I got that for you right here. So for those who have not purchased a property with JWB yet, some of the online tools that we have available for you to get comfortable purchasing properties over the phone and online in a virtual setting are incredible. These 3D tours absolutely allow you to go inside the home and take a look. And this is incredible because, you know, clients are comfortable purchasing over the phone. Typically, we love to fly our clients in and then they get to see the homes after the fact at some point down the line. And right now, we're still offering to do that. But with coronavirus, we can't do that. We can't bring you in yet. So you got to get really comfortable understanding exactly what this home is going to look like. And you do that through this client onboarding process. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit here. So we show you exactly what the home looks like. These virtual tours are incredible. One of the things I'm going to point out is that the neighborhoods you're investing in are below middle income. This is very typical for what a neighborhood looks like that is a positive cash flow neighborhood in Jacksonville, right? Is it going to be the best looking neighborhood that you've ever seen? Absolutely not. And the reason is because in order to get positive cash flow in a growth market, you need to focus on below middle income housing. That's how you do it. The numbers have to work. You have to get over the fact that the neighborhood may not be the most visually appealing neighborhood that you may see, right? So this is what you see for the neighborhood on for Dandy. And oh, by the way, hundreds of clients are already owning homes here, producing positive cash flow and have experienced appreciation over the years. But you got to take the emotion out of this, right? So we're going to show you what the neighborhood looks like. We're going to walk you inside the house here. So virtual tours, right? Brand new construction home, easy to see why this home will rent out very quickly here. You can see a hard surface in the living areas, right? Of course, we're going to go more in depth with you as we are bringing you on board over the course of a couple of phone calls. But I'm going to give you a quick tour here. I mean, take a look at this living environment for your resident, right? I mean, this is incredible. One of our secrets as to how we produce positive cash flow is signing long-term leases. When you look at what you see here, who wouldn't want to sign a long-term lease when you're looking at some of the amenities you have in this home here? Absolutely incredible. So, and then of course you've got master bedrooms and all that good stuff. You get to see kind of how it looks there. So not going to go too much in depth there, but here's the deal. This is the home at 9124 Dandy Avenue. What I'm going to do is include a property evaluation link in the comment section so you can see the numbers. For those who are interested and would like to see the numbers themselves, there's a number of options for you. You can drop me a line. I'll connect you with my team. If you're a current client, you should reach out to your portfolio manager. That's who can set up and send you all the information that you would need on this evaluation and can help you with your buying plan. It can help make sure that this is the right purchase for you. And if you're not a client yet, you don't have a JWB portfolio manager looking out for you yet, you can schedule a time to speak with my team by going to chatwithjwb.com. All right, everybody, this one's currently available. So let us know if you are interested and have a great week. I will catch you on Monday. Take care, everybody.